News talks about, the news talks about all different types of recovery. As you guys know, we have the expansion, we have the stabilizing, we have the decline. Ultimately, we hit bottom. So there is, if you talk to agents right now, they're going to be like, oh yeah, everything's back to normal, right? Back to normal. So there is the V type recovery, right? So meaning, we went through a recession. Let's say, Ontario this week is now open for business, and then boom, everything just goes back to the way it was. Okay, so that's one view. Again, no one has a crystal ball, but that's just one view. Now, they talk about the U recovery. The U. So meaning, it takes longer and you spend longer time during the recovery phase at the very bottom until it kind of comes back up. So, people are trying to get in. Hold on a second. Just got to let them in there. Okay. So, we got the V. We got the U-type recovery. There's also, people talk about the L, right? It just hits rock bottom and it just sustains there for a very long time, right? So that's the L-type recovery. And then there's the W, right? So it's just a matter of, okay, and I talked about the W-type recovery back in March when all of this started. I said, you know what? When they turn the lights back on, it's possible there's going to be a surge, and then there's going to be this massive drop, and then it's going to come back up again, right? It could even be like a V, and then a U type. That's also a possibility. Again, no one has a crystal ball, but we are seeing what's happening in the marketplace. Okay, so what affects this? And what's going to put us either in a V or a U or an L or a W? First of all, I really don't think we're going to be headed for an L, so you can just kind of take that out of the equation. Now, unemployment in Canada just hit about 13, I wrote it down here, 13.7%. This is a record, never seen in history. I think it was only once sometime in the 80s it ever hit that much. That's 3 million jobs in Canada. 3 million jobs. 3 million people out of a job, right? And some people, some people kept their job, but there were reduced hours. Now, we have to see the behavior of what's going to happen next, right? Most jobs were following a traditional format of going to report to a physical place. Now, because of COVID, people are realizing, hey, wait a minute, people can work from home, they can be more productive, and what's going to happen to the job market? That's the question. Now, out of these 3 million people that lost their job, not all will be able to return to the workforce. So let's say half of the jobs. For example, what are the people that are not going to be able to return to the workforce? Well, let's look at the restaurants. Let's look at any gyms. We're not even talking about the businesses that were lost. So for me, let's say 50%, that's 1.5 million new jobs that are going to be created back up when the lights get turned back on. That, to me, that means that we're still at around, let's say we're at 7% unemployment. That still for Canada would be catastrophic. So I don't think a V recovery is possible. I think either we're looking at a U recovery here in Canada, or it could be a situation where for the very beginning of the fall we see an increase, and then after Christmas we'll see it tank again. Now on this time it's going to happen for different reasons. Now I'm going to put the conversation on a second wave or third wave. I'm going to put that aside because I'm just going under the assumption that we're going to recover and we're never going to see this COVID thing again. And so we're looking at a potential, we're looking either a potential W or a U type recovery. So what does this mean? Because the same thing happened back in 2008. Exactly the same thing. By the time 2009, 2008, by the time we hit the bottom, this was 2010. That was the very, very bottom of the recovery. And then let's say 2011, 2012, 2013. We're now ready for an expansion all the way up to now 2020 at the very top where it just, kind of bottoms out again, right? So if we're looking at this U, right? So now 2020 February, where is the bottom? Nobody knows, right? Nobody knows on what's going to happen. All I know is that during this fall and until we hit the bottom, if we go back to 2 years, okay, if we study 2008, that means bottom would be 2022, okay? And so what you want to avoid as you're going into real estate, you don't want to buy a falling knife, right? If you don't want to buy here. Now there is different strategies that you can use, right? Now, again, we're talking about what are the properties that are going to be most affected? Major markets, housing mostly. You'll see this kind of thing happen in the housing. Now, once you start seeing things fall, which we haven't even. If you talk to a lot of realtors right now, you will see that they're telling you that things are kind of like back to normal, right? And so we might not even be seeing this exact drop right now, but it's coming. Now, here's the other thing. Secondary markets, because of the behavior of where people are working, and people are now working from home, a lot of companies like Shopify, I can name multiple different companies, they're telling people, you know what, we're going to work from home indefinitely. Meaning people don't have to live downtown Ottawa, pay $2,400 or $1,500 for a bachelor. They can now move into secondary markets. And so you'll start to see that, places around Ottawa like Prescott, Brockville, Kingston, Trenton, Belleville, these type of markets are going to start to see a new surge of population because of people moving out of major markets. If you're going to be working from home, you are going to need more space. You are going to need, maybe the behavior will change. And so you're going to want to be more comfortable. And you're going to want to reduce there's someone trying to get in there again. You want to reduce your cost of living. Again, no one has a crystal ball, and it's all about what's going to happen. Now, when we're here, right? When we're here, again, this is not I don't have a crystal ball, but when you see the housing market crash, this is when you can, because we've talked about it for a very long time. I don't believe in single family homes, right? Now, this is flipping time, right? Because you're going to be able to ride anything you buy over here. Same thing happened in 2008 where we hit bottom. We were buying things for 10 cents on the dollar. As we go up in the market, you'll be able to sell. So if you buy, even if you buy here, it goes down a little bit, but you're able to sell here anyway on the way up. This is the time to flip. This is perfect time for flipping. Now, on the way down, how do you hedge? Well, you can do rent to own. Rent to own. Now, if you buy a multi-unit here, a multi-unit, it doesn't matter where it goes because you're not selling. You see, the only time you lose is when you actually sell. And so there's a lot of opportunity that, okay, if you want to hedge and wait all the way, the best way to hedge this is to get into a rent-to-own opportunity, multi-units, secondary markets. When you hit here, this is a perfect housing. That's going to be the biggest opportunity ever. Major markets. I mean, if this happens, you'll be able to buy something downtown Ottawa, downtown Toronto. It's the perfect opportunity to pick things up in major markets. Now, again, I don't have a crystal ball. I'm just, sharing that with you guys. Let me